us. We welcome you. Alhaji Abdulaziz Aliu, the Director General of NIMSI, is also here with us. We welcome you. From the National Defense College, Brigadier General Kennedy Osenwige is also here with us. We welcome you. Air Vice Marshal C.I. Ogbowen, DHQ, representing Chief of Defense Staff, I'd like to welcome you especially. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. And also representing the Honorable Minister for Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Issa Ali Pantami. We have a representative here, and we welcome you especially. And Ambassador Wando Haruna. Ambassador Wando Haruna, I welcome you. The Chief of Defense Staff, General A.G. Olonishakin, is represented here by Major General E.G. White. Major General E.G. White, I welcome you, sir. I welcome you. Distinguished Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadija, Chairman, Senate Committee on ICT and Cybercrime. I welcome you, distinguished Senator. I welcome you, sir. Let me also especially welcome a man who has been minister twice in Nigeria, defense, tourism, and one of the finest lawyers in our society. Let me welcome you, Chief Adetukumba Kayode SM. Is also Prince Adetukumba Kayode. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. I'd like to welcome members of the diplomatic corps, our development partners, and all the other members of this ecosystem. I welcome you all to this event. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure and a desire for a better Nigeria that I welcome all of you to the multi-stakeholders workshop for the validation session of the draft National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2020. With advancements in modernization came the infiltration of information communication in our societies. And this is all over the world. Nigeria is not spared. And several benefits are obtainable from this gigabyte infestation. But also prevalent are some associated risks. A lot of communication exists massively in the cyberspace, and as such poses a myriad of threats to our nation. Hence, the draft policy designed as a harmonized strategy and developmental framework packaged to bring sanity to the cyberspace and also safeguard national security is very, very apt. And that is what we're going to be doing here in the next 2 days. We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow. So to kick off this event, let me welcome here to give us a review and our opening remarks on what we're here to do is the chairman of the review committee. I'd like to welcome Mr. Abdul Hakim Ajijala to please step forward here and give us a review of what we're here to do.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Our distinguished special guest of honor, I believe His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, GCON, SAN. I believe his representation is here. Your Excellencies, the Chairman of the Chairman of the Senate and House Committees on ICT and Cybercrime, Honorable Ministers present, our esteemed National Security Advisor, Major General Babagunno, retired, heads of foreign missions. Indeed, I'm also honored to see some of our Director Generals. I'm very happy to see you here. Distinguished guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, or maybe more appropriately, it's early evening. Cyberspace, like any other domain of our existence, requires trust for it to be fully exploited for the benefit of our people, and indeed for the benefit of our society in which they live. Despite its important advantages, cyberspace does have its attendant threats and challenges, which we must not only plan for, we must seek ways to mitigate, and where possible, we must leverage them in our national best interest. Over the past couple of weeks, as many of you are aware, our country has witnessed the use of cyberspace to disseminate fake news and misinformation. And I think we are all also witness to some of the attendant unfortunate results of this. Indeed, as we speak, Nigerian cybersecurity professionals are diligently working to keep us and our systems safe from the contemporary challenges that we are experiencing in cyberspace. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in 2014, Nigeria produced its maiden national cybersecurity policy and strategy, which had a lifespan of 5 years. It successfully provided a framework for enhancing the progressive use of cyberspace while mitigating some of its challenges. And if I may pause, Ambassador Wando, I just want to say a very special thank you to you, because you are the prime driver of that document. Your nation appreciates you. Thank you. On the 10th of September 2020, the National Security Advisor inaugurated a multi-stakeholder committee to review and refresh the 2014 document. It has been my honor and privilege to chair the distinguished multi-stakeholder committee with a mandate to formulate a national cybersecurity policy and strategy 2020. At this point, I want to thank personally the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagunno Monguno, retired, for this trust. For indeed, it has been a great trust on all of us, but myself in particular. Over the past 6 weeks, the committee has worked to collate relevant inputs from government agencies, private sector, civil society, and the international community, resulting in the development of the draft document which we are about to go through. Ladies and gentlemen, the current draft document is a result of in-depth multi-stakeholder effort with due cognizance of Nigeria's national priorities, national security imperatives, global trends, and good practice. The team, and in this I mean not just the committee, but the Secretariat, the team has taken a whole of society approach for adhering to appropriate processes while leveraging technology towards the well-being of Nigeria and Nigerians. This two-day workshop to validate and finalize the document, organized by the Office of the National Security Advisor, is intended to broaden the inclusiveness of the process and thereby enrich the final document. I wish to thank the Secretariat in particular, as well as the unsung heroes and heroines who have contributed to and will further support these processes. On behalf of the members of the Review Committee, I wish to respectfully thank and assure Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, GCON, SAN, our esteemed National Security Advisor, and the other eminent personalities here present, of our commitment and resolve to ensure the birthing of an implementable national cybersecurity policy and strategy 2020 for Nigeria. Thank you for your attention. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And God bless you and your committee for doing massive work for the nation. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. And your last word is what I'm hanging on to, implementable. And you can be very sure that the things that are recommended in this strategy or policy are all very implementable. Let me welcome again Air Vice Marshal C.I. Ogbowen from DHQ, representing Chief of Defense Staff. Welcome you. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. I remember the former American President, Ronald Reagan, once said that information is the oxygen of modern age. And so, as we find ourselves in this gigabyte-infested environment, we also need to handle it as carefully as we handle an egg, which is actually the essence of the document and these sessions in the next 2 days. Next, we'll be having a series of goodwill messages that will begin to shape our discussion this evening as we go on. And I'd like to welcome here to kick off the Chairman, Senate Committee on ICT and Cybercrime. I'd like to welcome here distinguished Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadije. I welcome you, distinguished.
Thank you very much. The representative of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the House Committee Chairman on ICT and Cybercrime, the representative of the NSA, heads of agencies, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Senate Committee on ICT and Cybercrime, here to give a goodwill message on what is the next in a series of events that I have personally attended in the last 2 months, all focused on cybersecurity. And I must say that the fact that there's actually so much happening in this sector is proof that for the first time in a very long while, Nigeria is taking the issue of cybersecurity very, very seriously. And that is what needs to be done. In the ICT sector, if you are reactive, then you are essentially finished. You always have to try to stay one step ahead of the game. And just like I mentioned during the discussion at the cybersecurity conference we wrapped up about 2 weeks ago, it's very tempting to focus or to put the responsibility on the issue of cybersecurity on any one sector, while in essence what is required is collaboration. No one can do it alone. The legislator cannot legislate fast enough to keep up with the pace of change in the industry. So it's simply not possible for anybody to say he will legislate on cybersecurity. So much happens in so little time that you cannot catch up, and we don't even have the capacity to anticipate what will happen. What is required is fora like this, national policy that creates the environment for regulation, and regulation by government agencies in collaboration with the private sector. No government agency will have the capacity to also keep up with the pace of change. It requires a significant amount of investment, and this kind of investment can only come from the private sector or from both the private and public sector. Interestingly, at the last conference we had, about 30% of the participants, online and physical, were from Israel. And not surprising, Israel is recognized as a world leader in cybersecurity. But what struck me particularly was the fact that we're told that Israel spent a little over 3% of its GDP on R&D in cybersecurity. That's slightly over $10 billion. So it's not surprising that they are where they are today. Total spending in that sector in 2018 was about $360 billion, and the United States is spending about $130 billion on R&D in cybersecurity. This can only happen when you have a combination and collaboration between the public and private sector. And this is what is required in Nigeria today. We'll provide the framework. A policy like this will create incentives for private sector to invest in security, and at the end of the day, we'll have created enough depth to try to keep up with the pace at which developments come and go in that sector. I bring goodwill messages from not just the ICT committee, but from also the Senate President, who extends his goodwill and also his warmest regards and wishes for a very, very successful 2 days of activity. Thank you very much for your time, and good evening.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator. We appreciate you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, some people might be asking, why is the Office of the National Security Advisor doing this? Why are we having multiple stakeholders working on the document, and why are we going to be sitting down here in the next 2 days? The answer is simple: for safety and security. So that we can have a nation we can be very proud of. We can have a nation where we can feel safe and secured. Very quickly, to speak to us on behalf of the Honorable Minister for Communication and Digital Economy, let me welcome here Ambassador Wando Haruna. Is that? You are representing the Honorable Minister, so I must have gotten the wrong information. Please step forward, please. Thank you very much. That should be the DG NIDA. I welcome you, sir. You're welcome, sir.
The Chairman, Senate Committee on Cyber Crime and ICT, represented by my Senator, Senator Ibrahim Hassan, the Chairman, House Committee on ICT, Honorable Lado, PAMSEC here present, DG NIMSI, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, may peace, mercy, and blessing be upon you all, and good evening. Up until 4 p.m., the Honorable Minister had a plan to be here in person, but because of another urgent matter that needs his attention at the villa, he called that I should represent him. And he said I should share with you, never before has cybersecurity been more critical than it is today, because the convergence between our physical and digital world is never as thin as it is today. You can hardly differentiate between your digital world or your online lives and your offline lives. Almost everything we do is being powered by this digital technology. We use our mobile phone for a lot of things. We use it to read, we use it to learn, we use it to navigate our ways to a place we don't know. We use it to shop and do a lot more. To the extent that the data your mobile phone generates can depict how you spend your life more than the way you can. Therefore, concerning this, and also coupled with the COVID-19 pandemic and the topical issue of what is happening in our country, there will never be a more perfect time to have these policies than now. However, we have one concern in our ministry. We need to separate between cybersecurity and cybercrime. Cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility, from our children to adults and old people. Anybody that uses any device that connects to internet has a responsibility to understand and protect himself. Therefore, he needs to be part of cybersecurity campaign and implementation in general. Looking at what we do in our ministry, like NIDA, our act empowers us to do more of cybersecurity. Likewise, NIMSI Act and NCC. We engage the citizens, the public, the MDAs on how to secure their digital asset and how to understand cybersecurity in general. So our challenge is, if we have all this to be managed by the security agencies, it will send signals that people maybe will think like there is a form of surveillance. Not everyone will share what he does in his organization with the security agent because of this fear of surveillance. Therefore, we are thinking it will be better if the Office of the National Security Advisor will focus more on cybercrime, while other agencies that has a power or mandate in the act, they can focus more on the other sectorial cybersecurity issues. We can exchange information, we can collaborate so that we can do it together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Our regards to the Honorable Minister, we thank him very much. Some experts believe that cybersecurity require the following: logic, knowledge, thought, and commitment. And those things will play out in the next 2 days. And it's also one of those things that guide military activities. If I'm wrong, the man from DHQ will correct me. He's representing the Chief of Defense Staff. Air Vice Marshal Ogboe is here with us, looking absolutely resplendent in his uniform as I welcome you to the microphone. Please appreciate him as he steps forward here. We welcome you. Looking sharp in his uniform. We welcome you, sir.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to observe the already well-established protocol. I am Air Vice Marshal Charles Owume, the Chief of Defense Policy and Plans, Defense Headquarters, here representing the Chief of Defense Staff. I'm here to give his goodwill message at this multi-stakeholders workshop for the validation of the draft National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2020. And it goes thus. I'm delighted to welcome you all to this multi-stakeholders workshop for the validation of the draft National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2020. I wish to express my immense gratitude to the National Security Advisor for this initiative in constituting a multi-stakeholders committee to review the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2014 that bettered the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2020, which is to be validated with this workshop. The diverse yet unified composition of competent stakeholders organizations involved in the review process makes me confident that this document will go a long way in shaping Nigeria's cybersecurity ecosystem in the next 5 years. The federal government, having recognized the need for the citizens to continue to benefit from the full potential of cyberspace for enhanced national security and economic well-being, promulgated the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy in 2014 and the Cybercrime Prohibition Prevention Act in 2015. This initiative has in the past 5 years driven national efforts in confronting cyber threats as well as upholding and supporting the openness of the cyberspace while balancing the need for security with respect to privacy and fundamental rights of the citizens. Considering the rapid and constant evolution of the cyberspace, it is therefore imperative that this document be reviewed at this time as initiated by the Office of the National Security Advisor. Cyberspace as the fifth domain of warfare after land, sea, air, and space has no boundary and hence does not obey conventional rules in warfare. It remains open to exploitation by state actors, organized syndicates, set criminals, and terrorists. Cyber terrorism has become the most precarious challenge facing us today as a nation. With the use of cyberspace to facilitate various terrorist activities, such as recruitment, training, propaganda, intelligence gathering, and fundraising, cyber terrorism is now globally recognized as a fundamental threat to global security. The Armed Forces of Nigeria is not also immune to this menace of cyber threats. That awareness made me to establish the Defense Cyber Operations Center under the Defense Space Administration, enabled by its art to safeguard the cyberspace for the Armed Forces of Nigeria operations and other security agencies. Therefore, it behoves on us as stakeholders present here to collectively advance the frontier of cyberspace in our ecosystem for enhanced national security. I would like to use this opportunity to appreciate the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria for providing the resources to drive this process. I would also like to appreciate the National Security Advisor for providing the enabling environment to ensure the physical and mental well-being of the committee members. Additionally, let me appreciate the efforts of the multi-stakeholders committee members for its dedication and selfless work throughout the review process. It is my firm belief that this process will ensure safe, secured, resilient, trusted community that will provide opportunities for its citizens as well as safeguard national assets and interests, promotes peaceful interactions, and proactively engagement in cyberspace for national prosperity. As we proceed with this validation process, I wish us fruitful deliberations in developing this roadmap that will guide our national cybersecurity efforts. In line with the above, all stakeholders present here have a responsibility in ensuring this document realizes its full potential. We must take responsibility to spread awareness of this document individually and collectively to ensure its implementation at various organizational levels. Finally, I congratulate our great nation for this great accomplishment of an improved version of the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy. This will also put Nigeria in the forefront of cybersecurity advancements in line with global efforts to make the cyberspace safe, secure, and resilient. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to now go to our chief host. The FCT has been an amazing host to all the federal government institutions, and the permanent secretary is here with us. Join me as I welcome Mr. Olushade Adeshola, representing the FCT minister, to deliver his goodwill message.
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, GCON, SAN, His Excellency, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Abbas Mustafa, ably represented by the Permanent Secretary, Special Duties Office, our host here, the National Security Advisor, Major General Babangida Muguno, retired, the Chairman, Senate Committee on ICT and Cybercrime, also represented, the Chairman, House Committee on ICT and Cybercrime, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the press, I welcome you all. I am here on behalf of His Excellency, the Honorable Minister FCT, Malam Muhammad Musa Bello, who had wanted to be here by himself, but in view of the current security challenges, had to make a detour to visit some of the places that were pillaged by hoodlum in the ongoing national unrest. On his behalf, I want to deliver his goodwill message to at this auspicious occasion of the validation of the draft national cybercrime and cybersecurity policy and strategy. On behalf of the administration and residents of the Federal Capital Territory, I am delighted to bring our message of goodwill to the eminent personalities gracing this historic workshop for the validation of the draft national cybersecurity policy and strategy 2020. This event could not have come at, I thought I could see myself through. It appeared the cyber security is also affecting my eyesight. This event could not have come at a better time than now, as the need to protect our cyberspace is becoming more obvious. More so now that information communication technology is at the epicenter of all facets of our lives. The National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2020, I believe, will not only strengthen the existing cybersecurity framework, but also ensure a comprehensive coverage in line with global best practices. By evolving a cybersecurity strategy, we are essentially putting in place a mechanism to defend and protect our critical national infrastructure and digital resources from malicious attacks. As noted in a joint report by the Center for Strategic and International Studies and McAfee, cybercrime is relentless, undiminished, and unlikely to stop. It is just too easy and too rewarding, and the chances of being caught and punished are perceived as being too low. Cyber criminals are at the high end and are as technologically sophisticated as the most advanced information technology companies. And like them, have moved quickly to adopt cloud computing, artificial intelligence, software as a service, and encryption. This dimension indeed makes the need to protect our cyberspace very imperative. The recent security challenges that have affected various parts of the country have also made the strengthening of our online security even more imperative. The use of the social media in spreading of fake news and mobilizing of unlawful gatherings is quite worrisome indeed. So is the use of ICT for the mobilization of funds outside government regulatory authorities or windows. These have serious security implications that will require well-defined policies and laws to contain. It is therefore heartwarming to note that the multi-stakeholder committee saddled with the responsibility of making this a reality has painstakingly done a good job. The draft document being validated at this workshop is a culmination of over 5 weeks of hard work, and I have no doubt that it will go a long way in meeting our cybersecurity challenges. Permit me, therefore, to commend and congratulate the Office of the National Security Advisor for its effort in the production of this National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2020. I wish all the participants rewarding and fruitful deliberations. I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Our regards to the Honorable Minister of the FCT. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, those who are experts in this area believe that there are 5 most efficient defenders to cybercrime. And these are anticipation, education, detection, reaction, and resilience. And in all of the things that we shall be discussing the next 2 days, all of these very worthy defenders will be in play. Let me welcome here a former minister. He was a minister in defense and tourism, one of the finest lawyers in the country. I'd like to welcome here Prince Adetukumbo Kayode, SAN, CON, to please step forward here and let's hear your voice. Honorable Minister. To welcome you.
Good afternoon. All protocols duly observed. I want to congratulate the Office of the NSA for delivering the NCPS 2020, which is an upgrade of the NCPS 2014 in line with the Cyber Crimes Act. The harmonization and implementation of the NCPS 2020 will enable Nigeria to develop the cyber security sector as well as the cyber security industry. And to do this, we must articulate a clear regulatory framework that will ensure standards, compliance, certification, enforcement, as well as strengthen the National Cybersecurity Coordinating Center to be able to properly ground the implementation of this policy, as well as laws and regulations to be made. Cybersecurity is very important for Nigeria. In the world today, Africa has become one of the fastest growing regions for cyber crimes, with significant cyber attacks on emerging markets, as well as cyber attacks emanating from Africa and targeting the world. African economy has become important sources as well as victims of cyber threat. I think in 2017, cybercrime cost African economy over $3.5 billion, and Nigeria took a hit for over 20% of that. I know that there's a tendency to draw a line between cyber crime and cyber security, but I can tell you just a short story. Some time back, some non-state actors in a country hacked the website system of another very powerful country, maybe one of the most powerful in the world, and sent a message that the president had been injured and he was hospitalized over the night. By the morning, the stock exchange of that country had a run, and they lost over $130 billion even before much could be done to debunk that fact. So the non-state actors that did that wanted to just do some form of cyber harassment, political stuff, but ultimately became a serious economic issue because some people took a position because they knew this was going to happen, and they made a lot of money from that attack. So the line usually seems to appear to be there, but it's actually very, very thin. It's important for Nigeria to use the opportunity of the NCPS to launch cybersecurity skills. Cybersecurity skills development programs for ethical knowledge of both cybersecurity warriors and users of internet technology. The second point I would like to bring out is that today we're in the advent of e-everything, e-governance, e-commerce, e-trading, e-transactions, especially for SMEs, e-learning, social media, and so on. And of course, we're in the era of fake news. It is important for us to take the issue of digital literacy and learning very seriously to enable us to have awareness as to the opportunities as well as challenges of cybersecurity. For instance, banking has gone online. Bank staff should undergo training on basic cybersecurity, just as it is important for all banks to have someone with knowledge, to be made a cybersecurity and information security officer. They call them CISOs, to keep an eye on all transactions. And this should apply in every facet of our formal lives. Cyber attacks manifest in different ways. Phishing, malware, ransomware, DDoS, and most significantly, ignorance or incompetence. So you could really have a cyber challenge if your technical staff are not competent. So the competence is very, very important. There's a need for development of cybersecurity force to help to tackle varying challenges that arises from cyber engagement. And I suggest that a Nigerian Cyber Immersion Center be established within the framework of this policy to provide platform for a state-of-the-art research, innovation, and training platform for cybersecurity professionals. This is a new reality, and we, all of us, are already part of it. Once again, we want to congratulate the NSA and give him our best wishes. And also remind him that this is not only a government thing. As the point made by the previous speakers, the private sector has a very key role to play, and we all should work together on this. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. I totally agree with you. It's actually the new normal. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. We appreciate you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome here Ambassador Haruna Wando, who has a few things to tell us in terms of goodwill message. Ambassador, I welcome you, sir. I welcome you. Thank you very much.
Let me also stand on the existing protocol Good evening, distinguished members of this audience. The question of cybersecurity policy and strategy obviously is very important for every country, for every nation, and also to ensure that, the cyberspace of our country is protected. I'm glad to have participated in the first cybersecurity policy and strategy document that we produced in 2014, and it was put into use from 2015. And of course now it's time to review it because 5 years, a lot has changed. The cyber security situation in the country or in the world has advanced, and therefore there is need to include all the things that might not have been included in the previous edition. That's why the committee was set up to review it. And I'm glad to have been there, to have been invited to address the committee on their first sitting and also to discuss in full with them the basis on which the 2014 cybersecurity strategy and policy was drawn, and also to draw their attention to the fact that, they need to go through line by line to compare what is the reason for putting whatever in 2015 or 2014. Does that still hold valid now in 2020? And I believe the committee, took the job very, very seriously. Although I was not a member of the committee, apart from the fact that, I was there to give them my own point of view and also for them to understand the basis on which the 2014 document was produced. And I was impressed actually to note that the committee was made up of a cross-section of experts in cybersecurity from all walks of life in the country. It wasn't just the military or the security officials that were there. There are people obviously from the private sector as well as government agencies that were not military or security agencies. And I hope all the work that has been done, when we have the chance tomorrow to review what has been given, we'll be able to finally have a document that is accepted to all and that will also stand the test of time. We look forward to doing that tomorrow. For now, I say thank you very much for inviting me, and wish the committee and other members that will be, all of us that will be there tomorrow, a good outing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Let me recognize and welcome the House Committee Chairman on ICT, Honorable Ladus Leja. He's been here very quietly and patiently. We appreciate you. Even the patience is national service. And so I welcome you to the microphone now. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented here, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. First, let me congratulate the National Security Advisor for this tremendous achievement on the validation of the cybersecurity policy and strategy. I'm here on behalf of myself as the Chairman House Committee on ICT and Cybercrime, and also representing my boss, the Honorable Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Abdul-Hakim Gbajabiamila. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I felt greatly honored to be invited to give a goodwill message at this August occasion. The future of Nigerian security and prosperity rests on the digital foundations. The challenges of our generation is to build a flourishing digital society that is both resilient to cyber threats and equipped with the knowledge and capability required to maximize opportunities and manage risk. We are critically dependent on the internet. However, it is inherently insecure, and there will always be attempts to exploit weaknesses to launch cyber attacks. This threat cannot be eliminated completely, but the risk can be greatly reduced to a level that allows society to continue to prosper and benefit from the huge opportunities that digital technology brings. Government has a special responsibility to citizens, to companies and organizations operating in Nigeria, and to our international allies and partners. We should be able to assure them that every effort made has been to render our system safe and to protect our data and our networks from attacks or interference. We must therefore set ourselves the highest standard of cybersecurity and ensure we adhere to them, both as the cornerstone of the country's national security and economic well-being, and as an example for others to follow. While the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2014, a precursor to the Cybersecurity Prohibition Prevention Act 2015 delivered substantial improvements to Nigerian cybersecurity. It achieved important outcomes and drive cyber behaviors, policy that can achieve the scales and pace of change required to stay ahead of the fast-moving threats and dynamic development is desirable. Hence, the multi-stakeholder workshop for the validation of the draft National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2020 is timely. The Committee on ICT Cybercrime have made effort to support matters relating to cybersecurity, to cybercrimes. Currently, we are investigating under remittance of the 0.005 cyber fund levy in accordance with the Section 44(2)(a) of the Cybercrimes Prohibition Prevention Act 2015 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is to ensure funds is available to fight cybercrime war and to block every leakages. We are determined to see that any policy and strategy that provide cohesive measures and strategic actions towards assuring security and protection of the country's presence in cyberspace, safeguarding critical information, infrastructure, building and nurturing trusted cyber community receive legislative backing. I urge you all to examine the issues dispassionately in the best interest of the economy. I am confident that given the era of this professional gathered here today, implementable recommendation will emerge from your deliberation on strategy for strengthening the national cybersecurity policy at the end of this workshop. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman, House Committee on ICT. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Let me quickly invite here the Director General NIMSI. He too has been very patient and quiet. Elijah Abdulaziz Aliu is here with us. We welcome you. We welcome you.
Good afternoon. I thought my minister was represented, so I don't need to say anything. But thank you very much for inviting me. It gives me great pleasure to be invited to offer the goodwill message on this occasion of the workshop for the validation of the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategies 2020. Well, this workshop is timely because the challenges and technologies in this arena evolve almost instantaneously. It is my hope that this revision will strengthen our cyber defenses in the public and also private sector. The push for utilizing technologies to transform every aspect of our endeavors and lives is one we should embrace, exploit, and leverage to increase efficiency and effectiveness for both private and public sector. And also, it allows us to participate in this digital technology. As we know, there are so many sensors, so many things that are being measured, and it is being accelerated. So the whole of our life is accelerated, and the same thing that is happening all the time. Therefore, there is need to measure what we do. If we don't measure, then there's no way for us to really manage what we do. With the recent activities observed in the cyberspace, it is recognized that Nigeria now has networks that can be disrupted using cyber tools. And knowing Nigerians who we are, that we are also special people, we also have a different mind of thinking about things. I believe that with our diversity and our sense, that we should be able to come up with something that we can defend our cyberspace that has been described that it has no border. But I believe that we should be able to do something in this arena. At this juncture, it is important to assure you of NIMSI's commitment towards ensuring a strong and secure foundational digital identity. Will endeavor to implement and revise the revised national policy and strategy, which clearly points the way forward in protecting our infrastructure. You know that among the policy, the technology, processes, and people, the most important asset that we have is the people. And the most important aspect of the person too is the digital identity of the person. Therefore, we see this workshop as really directed to the operations of NIMSI. On the final note, I want to thank the National Security Advisor and all the stakeholders who have worked tirelessly in this past week to produce the draft National Security Policy and Strategy 2020. On behalf of my minister, and then the board of NIMSI, the management, and also the staff of National Identity Management Commission, I say a big congratulations to all of us. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and please continue to stay safe and positive in these difficult times. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll try to be safe. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Also here with us is the Air Vice Marshal Udo, representing Air Boss. Air Vice Marshal Udo? Okay. We would like to hear your voice for a minute or two as I welcome you. You're welcome, sir. Hold.
Thank you very much. Excuse me. I thought I was to talk tomorrow, but since I've been called, I have to say something. It's a familiar ground. Let me stand and permit me please to stand and exit in protocol. I'm Air Vice Marshal Victor Udo, retired. I head the Air Boss office here in Nigeria. Let me start by, first of all, mentioning the importance of this exercise. So much has been said, but I'll say one or two personal experiences outside this country. I was in Garmisch, I think 2006, and then at Harvard on studies on cybersecurity. And something happened. We were there from so many countries, and at a point when we started the course, I think the one in Harvard, we were told to any country that has a policy should come this side. If you have a policy and a strategy, this side. If you have a policy, strategy, and a law on cyber security or cyber crime, this side. I was very proud to be a Nigerian that day because we had the three. And it's very heartwarming to see that this policy and strategy that started 2014, I'll thank Ambassador Wando once again because we're there in his office and they put it together, and to thank the office of the NSA for bringing up this again for review. I think it was for 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, and it's now for a review. A lot has been said about the cyberspace, but I think, and I want to give kudos to those who have done sleepless nights to come up with this document, because this is a route I've passed. I think I've been involved in about 3 laws without being in the National Assembly. The cyber crime law, part of it, and then the DSA and some other ones. And I know what it takes to come up with policies, strategies, laws, is sleepless nights. And to come up with something that combines the two within the past 5 weeks, I know they must have gone through a lot of sleepless nights. And I want to seize this opportunity to thank the committee and to the stakeholders that will be involved tomorrow. They should brace up because I had to go through the documents in a day or two. It's not going to be an easy task. But it's always heartwarming and very good to work for the nation, especially for those of us who have been in the armed forces. It's just like being a member of the Green Eagles. Whenever you are called upon to come and work for your country, it's a thing of pride. So on this note, I don't want to say too much. Welcome all of you, and I thank you for being here. Just one more comment, just from NIDA that has been doing a great job, especially coming up with the issues of the data protection and privacy, since we don't have a law in that direction. And to also say that not completely in line with what is said, I think what we need is more of synergy. And the only office where the law that we currently operate, which is the Cybercrime Act of 2015, until that law is revised or another law is made, it puts this squarely on the office of the National Security Advisor. And I think it is good to follow the law and work together. From what we have here is stakeholders workshop. And like every other person has said, that all we need is not interagency rivalry, but interagency cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Since the coming of the cyberspace, the world has become a global village. Globally, we're all tied together. And that's why we're very happy that members of the diplomatic corps, development partners, and stakeholders in the ecosystem are also here with us. So let me see, I'd like to invite here a representative of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, if he's here, to please come to the microphone. I think I saw him earlier. How about ECOWAS? Or European Union? Okay, they all have stepped out. So let me quickly welcome a few of the members of the ecosystem. The Computer Professionals of Nigeria. Do we have a member here representing the Computer Professionals of Nigeria? How about the Nigerian Internet Registration Association? Internet? Computer Society, please, please.
Your Excellencies, the National Security Advisor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on the protocol that has been already established. My name is Professor Tanko Ishaya, and I'm here on behalf of the Nigerian Computer Society. Here to give a goodwill message. On behalf of the President, Professor Adesina Sodia, the National Executive Council of NCS, and indeed the entire body of the Nigerian Computer Society, we first of all want to congratulate the National Security Advisor, and indeed Nigeria, for this timely and proactive initiative. We thank the NSA for giving NCS the opportunity to provide inputs towards the review of this particular document. And we said it has been a privilege for us to have the opportunity to review the 2014 National Security Policy and Strategy, and for us to have the opportunity to provide inputs that must have culminated into this particular document that is to be validated. This is quite timely, as more of our personal lives and business activities are being conducted online than ever, making cybersecurity a key issue of our time. Indeed, the involvement of multi-stakeholders in the review of the 2014 that culminated into this is a clear process in building a secure and trustworthy digital society. The future of cybersecurity landscape is hard to predict because the industry is constantly evolving in response to the shifting behavior of cyber criminals and the new attack that they develop. The events of the present can often tell us a lot about the future. There will be more hackers and cyber criminals to deal with. The more people who settle in one place, the more bad apples you have to deal with, and the more law enforcement that is required. The number of humans on the internet is expected to reach 6 billion within the next 1 to 2 years, and that will continue to grow. Artificial intelligence and machine learning will be a core component of the cyber security systems. AI systems are sure to become a major attack for hackers. Therefore, future cybersecurity software and personnel will be required to develop techniques to detect and counteract artificial intelligence corruption attacks. This developing cybersecurity talent becomes therefore necessary. And I just want to echo from the last speaker. I think one of the things that we need is synergy with all stakeholders. There are a lot of, being an academic, I know there are a lot of research and development also going on within the academia. And I'll call upon the NSA to also bring the academia with respect to research in this particular area towards bringing clear solutions and clear developments. I know quite a number of centers are emerging, and TEDFund and other agencies of this country are providing funds towards research in order to provide the technology that is required in order to provide a safe place for this country. The NSA, please be assured of our commitment, patriotism, and determination, and determined support in ensuring that whatever that we can do as a body, the ecosystem in IT, that we will do it in order to ensure that the cyber security ecosystem is safe and trustworthy for Nigerians. I thank you all, and God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you very much, and my regards to your president. Let me quickly invite here the Egyptian ambassador to Nigeria. I understand he was here with us. Has he left? Okay. Do we have a representative from the cyber security experts of Nigeria? Okay. And even her steps are expertly. Business-like. I welcome you. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to stand on existing protocol. My name is Oluwatoni Odetayo, and I'm representing the Cybersecurity Expert Association of Nigeria. We are delighted to be joining this event today. We are glad that this is happening. We, as cybersecurity Expert Association of Nigeria have been doing a lot towards the development of cybersecurity in Nigeria. And we're happy that this is happening at this time. It is our pleasure to join other stakeholders for this validation tomorrow. And please be assured that we are here and we will provide our support towards the development of cybersecurity in Nigeria. Thank you all for joining this session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Do we have a representative of the Association of Telecoms, ATCON? Okay, please, we welcome you.
Good evening to you all. May I stand on existing protocols? ATCON represents the private sector. $70 billion worth of investments made today since 2001 when the industry was deregulated, and continues to invest in technology that drives the digital economy. It covers communications, cloud, carrier, connectivity, and of course, enveloped by cybersecurity, which is really evolving. The area that concerns our industry is critical national infrastructure. Under the broadband plan of 2020-2025, we aim to achieve a deployment of 120,000 kilometers of optic fiber cables to 774 local government authorities, as well as to increase the number of base stations and towers, which is still far behind other developed countries. Meaningful internet access requires this infrastructure, but it also brings challenges. And the challenges are, how do we use this infrastructure in a productive manner, in a safe environment? So we're very happy to be aligned with this thematic so that we can review a document that covers aspects that concerns not only investments, but the development of our nation for our youth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I love your voice. Thank you. So let's appreciate him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. The Nigerian Internet Registration Association, NIRA, we have a representative, Mr. Mohammed Rodman. We welcome you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Kindly permit me to stand on the existing protocol. On behalf of the Nigerian Internet Registration Association, the custodians of the .ng in Nigeria, we are bringing our goodwill message to the Office of the National Security Advisor. This is quite apt. It is the right time for us to look at our national cybersecurity strategy, considering that we have more than 100 million Nigerians right now that are online, and more are coming online. So it is very critical at this level that we strategize, and coincidentally, I happen to be part of the committee that is reviewing the policy and the strategy document. So we appreciate the Office of the ONSA for inviting all the various stakeholders across Nigeria, including the private sector, the different associations, so that we can come together to build a document that is worthy for our country. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and you handled it well. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Segun Olugbile, Cybersecurity Advocacy Group. Mr. Segun Olugbile. Do you have somebody representing the computer professionals of Nigeria? Okay. I want to thank all of you for your very wonderful words in support of the Office of the National Security Advisor in doing this for our nation, for our economy, and for the future of our country. It's therefore my honor and pleasure to welcome here the Permanent Secretary, Office of the National Security Advisor, to step forward now and deliver the keynote address. I welcome the Permanent Secretary. You're welcome, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aliyu Mohammed. I'm the Permanent Secretary, Special Services Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Up to 3 p.m. this afternoon, the National Security Advisor was getting ready to be here with us. Unfortunately, or fortunately, he was summoned to the villa on very urgent issues, and he asked me to come here and read his goodwill address. He will, however, join us in due course. If he cannot make it this evening, definitely he will be here tomorrow. So, the NSS address. The Vice President of the Federal, His Excellency the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chairman Senate Committee on ICT and Cybercrime, Chairman House Committee on ICT and Cybercrime, Honorable Ministers here represented, Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Chief of the Defense Staff, Service Chief and Inspector General of Police, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to welcome everyone to this auspicious occasion for the validation of the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2020. I thank you most sincerely for honoring our invitation despite your various tight schedules, and I congratulate everyone present for being part of this historic journey and great milestone for Nigeria. Our country is currently at a turning point in its history. A significant proportion of our population of over 200 million people are young and entrepreneurial. We are also witnessing a rapid surge in our adoption of the internet for almost all aspects of our daily life. For this reason, Nigeria is at the center stage in the current digital transformation, and the country is uniquely positioned to reap the benefits of the cyberspace revolution. Therefore, there is no gainsaying that cyberspace has become an engine for the enhancement of Nigeria's national security, economic transformation, and national development. However, like several other countries across the globe, the growth and development of our cyberspace is accompanied by significant inherent challenges. From the threats posed by cyber criminals and cyber terrorists to the use of internet, social media for propagation of hate speech and seditious messages, as well as the risk of breaches to government's sensitive data, it is almost impossible to overstate the challenges. Some global events, such as the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, advent of the 5G, and the acceleration in the use of mobile devices and social media have further widened the scope and diversification of these cyber threats. Over the last couple of weeks, we are witnesses to an escalation in the use of social media to disseminate subversive contents and incite violence, which played a part in heightening tension, causing unrest, spurring widespread acts of looting and destruction across the country. Therefore, in a bid to ensure that we effectively embrace and harness the benefits of digital revolution while effectively combating the heightening risk of cyber threats, the federal government of Nigeria has been proactive over the past couple of years to ensure progressive use of our cyberspace. In the year 2014, we developed our maiden national cyber security policy and strategy to provide us with the necessary roadmap for the realization of our national cyber security program. This national effort paved way for Nigeria to reach numerous cyber security milestones over the past 5 years. Therefore, in order to build on this achievement and reposition ourselves for enhanced engagement in cyberspace, it became expedient to review the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2014 and develop a comprehensive National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2020 for the common good of the country. The need for the review was also in line with extant provisions for the national document to be reviewed every 5 years in line with global best practices. Against this background, on 10 September 2020, the Office of the National Security Advisor inaugurated a multi-stakeholder committee comprising representatives from government ministries, departments and agencies, private sector, academia, cybersecurity advocacy groups, and subject matter experts, among others, to identify the gaps in the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2014, harmonize the various inputs of stakeholders, and formulate the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2020. Over the past 8 weeks, the committee articulated relevant inputs from stakeholders across the country and the international community and developed a comprehensive draft national document. In order to ensure a whole-of-society approach in the formulation of the National Cybersecurity and Strategy 2020, the Office of National Security Advisor organizes this workshop to validate the draft document. While using this opportunity to thank the committee for their remarkable effort in developing the draft document, it is expedient for me to highlight that this forum presents us with a unique opportunity to contribute to the finalization of the document and be a part of Nigeria's cybersecurity success story. Therefore, I enjoin all participants to work together constructively and provide the necessary inputs to enrich and improve on the inclusiveness of the draft document. It is also necessary for me to mention that this workshop provides the opportunity for us to build the necessary relationships and networks that will pave way for better collaboration towards cybersecurity development in Nigeria. I therefore wish all participants a fruitful deliberation and successful validation of the draft document. I also sincerely appreciate Your Excellencies, the Chairman, Senate and House Committees on ICT Cyber Crime, Honorable Ministers here represented, heads of foreign embassies and high commissions in Nigeria, and other distinguished invited guests for honoring us with your presence and for the unalloyed support towards strengthening the development of cybersecurity in Nigeria. I am confident that together we can pave the path for the creation of new opportunities to usher Nigeria to a bright future driven by a prosperous cyberspace and digital economy. Thank you very much, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
God bless you too, sir. And so, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for making today very memorable. But let me also say this very clearly, that tomorrow the sessions will continue, but not here, in the main hotel, Anambra room, and we need to brace ourselves. It's going to be virtually an all-day affair because, like Air Vice Admiral Udo said, putting these documents together, interrogating the issues in the documents is not easy. But I'm very sure we're all ready for it. It's a long journey. Tomorrow, Anambra room, the main hotel, it will kick off at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. It will kick off at 9 a.m. I'll be here till about this time tomorrow. But for this evening, we have had a lot of food for thought over cybersecurity. And somebody called me and said, how about food for the stomach? And I said, it's going to be provided. And it's in two levels. First, we'll all step out for group photograph by the fountain just outside to my right. There's a water fountain there. The group photograph will hold. And then we'll come here and have a brief meeting with the tea and coffee very quickly. Because that keeps some space in your tummy, because Lagos Osun Room at the main hotel is where we have the full dinner later tonight. And so we kick off from the photograph to the coffee and then to dinner. It will be departure. We'll be saying good night until we see you tomorrow morning. Shall we all rise now for the national anthem? Control room, are you ready? For the group.
Hours a day. NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire.